YMCA of Florida's First Coast. Some news on Trevor Lawrence that came out late on Friday from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Lawrence will soon be having surgery.
Due to a newly discovered injury in his left shoulder, a labrum issue, he is going to have surgery. Again, left shoulder, not the throwing shoulder for Trevor Lawrence, but still he's going to have surgery. Doctors say he is going to be fully healthy and ready to go for training camp.
Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Exciting news announced today on 1010XL. The Trevor Cast is coming, a 10-week podcast series beginning February 25th on Trevor Lawrence. Right now, 66 degrees at 6:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. This is the Sports Den with Denny Thompson and James Coleman on 1010XL.
Football season is officially behind us, man. It is over. Done. Now,
sad, but there's promise and there's hope.
It's the Jags' turn now, right?
We are now the darlings of football.
It's time for a new era. I mean, we thought it was going to be Mahomes. Obviously not. I'm just kidding. Y'all don't get all mad at me. Mahomes is dope. Mahomes is awesome. We'll get into that game in just a second. But now it's time for the Jags. It's time for Urban Meyer. It's time for Trevor Lawrence and company. It's time for that $100 million salary cap. Money that the Jags have to get into action. We're, 3 weeks away from free agency?
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 weeks away? It's about to get real here in Jacksonville. I mean, this time, 20 years from now, they could be talking about Trevor Lawrence and is he going to play until he's 45? Is he going to win his 9th Super Bowl?
That would be really great. I'm here for that. I'm cautiously optimistic. And I know you don't like this kind of talk, Denny, and I get it. As excited as I am about Urban, I'm not as excited about his assistant coaches. But I still have faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jaded by the fact that it's not just this past administration, but it's just a Jaguar thing. And I only notice it because I'm an outsider. Jaguar players, whether they were bench warmers, whether they were coaches or somebody affiliated, seem to flourish when they leave here. So my fear is that we're going to scout this guy and we're going to give him all the hard knocks that he needs. And this Super Bowl is going to come outside of the Jaguar uniform, but I'm not going to be fearful, a Debbie Downer. I'm going to enjoy this process, and I believe that Trevor is going to be what's necessary for us.
So what you're saying right now is this, as if the Jags do a better job developing talent for the next man up than the Jumbo Shrimp.
We are the minor league, and
that makes sense.
And our fans are just some of the worst at times and who we blame. Like, don't blame the player, hate the game. Like, you can't get mad at guys for going somewhere and flourishing because every time they do that, they're really showing you what the real issue was. It wasn't just them. It was that, but maybe we've got rid of enough pieces to where this is going to be a new season and a new day. So
change the scenery while staying in the same city.
Right. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
A staycation, if you will.
I like that. Urban Meyer is Jacksonville's staycation. I like that. The story should start and it should be told of all Tom Brady. I mean, I have a Tom Brady man crush, and not about his wife or anything like that, or about the way he looks or anything like that. It's 100% about football. Like, this guy is what he did last night. You couldn't have written a script that had him going from New England, where the conversation was it him or was it Belichick? And then there was people like me who said, you don't have to pick one or the other. It was both of them together. It was the unity of those two that made greatness. And then he goes to the opposite of Belichick and Bruce Arians.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, Bruce Arians got his first head coaching job when he was like 60.
Right.
Right.
He also got he told his story about how his mom forced him to get back into coaching.
Right.
He took some time off, but you're right.
Right.
No,
The opposite in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Of Bill Belichick.
More chill.
Goes down to Tampa, where the only time they've ever had any success, it was on the shoulders of an elite defense.
Right.
Basically rebuilds a roster and wins the Super Bowl in the first year. Mm-hmm. And didn't just win the Super Bowl, like they dominated the game. Now the story of last night is not Brady, it's the defense.
In a weird year.
Right.
A COVID year.
Yep. Where he didn't get
They didn't get all the opportunity. Basically, if you're listening to this, all the excuses that you've ever used for your franchise, your favorite college, or basically they had every one of those. New quarterback, new system, new pieces, no offseason, no OTAs, rookies coming in. It's just a bunch of really just mismatched parts that came in, and they were successful.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, and the one thing I did listening to all the interviews after the game, the person that they all pinned that to was Tom Brady and the way that he prepares. The way that Shaq Barrett is one guy who in particular has played for two guys. Lived in Denver. Mm-hmm. He played with Peyton.
Yep.
And he played with Tom here. So like he knows, like, all right, I've been with two because he will be first ballot Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And yeah, it made a difference. The way they prepared on offense forced us to be better on defense, and that in turn made everybody better. So I mean, it is amazing. I'm more leaning on he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Oh,
I was Joe Montana. I was Joe Montana because of the same reasons why people say Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. You can't. He never lost. Joe Montana got there 4 times in a row. I mean, not 4 times in a row. Excuse me, 4 times. Won it 4 times. He's great. I just can't. I've never negated. Like I joke about Michael Jordan. I know Michael Jordan's great. I've never negated the greatness of Tom Brady. But man, I was like, he lost it. He's done this. But that zip on that ball to Gronk.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this man, like, nah, he that's that old man that you're playing in the park. I know some of y'all never hooped outside before, but it's always that old guy that kind of makes you feel like, oh, I'm faster than him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to just body him. But he just knows how to play the game.
Yep.
He cuts you off. He's able to do all the cool tricks.
Still boxing out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the guys who scored touchdowns, Rob Gronkowski had 2. Guy that was not in the league last year. Mm-hmm. Retired. Done. Antonio Brown had a touchdown. Everybody knows Antonio Brown. Not in the league, 8 weeks ago or however long ago that was. And Leonard Fournette, a guy who was cut right here in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. That's the people who scored the touchdowns last night. The stories behind the success of the Bucs, and we'll get into the game because I thought the game was a lot of a letdown by the Chiefs coaching staff. We'll get to that next segment. But the story behind the Bucs this year is a defense that I don't think 90% of us knew how good they were, specifically at the second level of the defense. Mm-hmm. But the fact of who they're doing this with. Yes, it's Brady. But last week we saw, was it Scotty Miller with the touchdown against the Packers? It's a bunch of guys that when you really dig a little bit deeper, it's like, wow, the collection that they put together of guys that people didn't want, they just won a Super Bowl with, and they not just won a Super Bowl, they won it convincingly, and those people played huge roles throughout the playoffs.
Right.
I don't buy into the whole, all right, well, Brady beat Rodgers and Breeze and Mahomes. Brady's Brady. Like, Brady's not hanging his hat on that. Brady is the best of all times. Those guys would hang their hat on the fact that they beat Brady. Brady beating those guys is a normal Sunday. That's just what he does. The guy is an absolute winner, the definition of a winner, whether he's got the arm that he had at 25 or not, whether he's got the zip on the ball that he had at 25 or not. The guy knows how to win football games. He knows how to bring other guys around him up. Exactly what we're hoping Urban Meyer brings to the table.
Facts.
Like if you want a synopsis of what one person can do for a franchise, there it is. There it is. And that's what we're hoping Urban Meyer does right here in Jacksonville very, very shortly. It is the Sports Den brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. filling in for Into the Night with Rick Ballou, who is on vacation. Where did he end up going? Tampa?
I think he's in Tampa.
So he went where the Super Bowl left?
Right. I mean, he might have been down there Saturday.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I think I saw him on the golf course today. I think I saw that on Twitter.
Alligator.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I saw that. So James spent the whole week in Tampa last week. We'll get some stories from him about covering his first Super Bowl. We'll get into that. But I want to get into what specifically happened last night. I think James and I have maybe a different perspective to bring to the table on the X's and O's of what happened last night. I did not foresee 31-9 coming in any way, shape, or form. I picked the Bucs. I thought it was going to be a great game. I thought it was going to go a little bit the way it went, but I had no idea they were going to dominate like they did last night. That game was worse than the score. Could have been a lot worse. We'll get into all of that coming up next.
The official station of the Jaguars fans. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Dr. Carlson has provided premium dental services to the Jacksonville area for over 30 years. Carlson Dental Group's priority is patient experience and satisfaction. Our biggest referrals are from our own patients. I've been one for more than 10 years. Carlson Dental Group also has the most innovative technology and equipment to give our patients the best dental results and long-lasting health. From dental cleaning to a complete smile makeover, Dr. Carlson and his team gives the highest quality dental care and most comfortable environment. Call today, 904-425-2300.
Hi, Lou here from Espada Agency Farmers Insurance. Have your homeowners and renters insurance premiums seen an increase? If so, the Espada Agency not only represents farmers insurance, but we also offer other carriers to be able to compare your current program. So stop by the office at 7880 Gate Parkway, directly across the street from IKEA, or call the Espada Agency at 376-7333. 376-7333.
Some sports take place on freshly cut grass. Ours on freshly burnt rubber. NASCAR is back at Daytona with Speed Weeks presented by Advent Health. A week of racing like no other. February 9th through the 14th. Be here as the biggest stars in NASCAR battle during a week of nonstop excitement. All leading up to the Daytona 500 on February 14th. For tickets, call 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visit DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com. NASCAR is back. You belong here.
Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. We want to win your business with honest and upfront transmission service. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. That's a promise from me. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors, and with great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? How about scheduling a free consultation or just stop by the Pella showroom right there on Phillips Highway next to Tesla? Pella's professional consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. From simple projects to complex renovations, their team has the experience needed to make your project a success. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Fishing is more fun when you catch something.
Look at that fish!
The Moe's Southwest Grill Fishing Forecast with Captain Kevin Favor. Brought to you by Ring Power and Tire Outlet. Thursdays at 6 p.m. on 1010XL AM.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and about color and weight. But how do you judge the clarity of a diamond?
Frank, that's a good question that has a very specific answer. Diamonds are graded at 10 power magnification using a binocular microscope. But when you're shopping for diamonds, a lot of times a sales clerk will just hand you a magnifying glass called a jeweler's loupe and have you look into the diamond. While an expert knows how to do this, it's kind of tough on a novice because they don't know how to create the same dark field illumination that a binocular microscope gives. As a result, the customer may or may not be able to see anything. That's why at Underwoods, we set the clarity grade of a diamond with a binocular microscope. We have these instruments in every store and invite our customers to examine the diamond underneath them. We can show you the microscopic inclusions that affect the rarity and value of a diamond. So if you're shopping for fine quality diamonds and want the facts, come see us at Underwoods.
That's Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, for the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. You know, I always get great service from McGowan's AC because they hire good people, pay them well, and treat them right. That's why McGowan's is growing and hiring now. you know the HVAC is a lucrative career, especially here in Florida. So if you're a go-getter with a positive attitude and ready to get working, there's no experience necessary. McGowan's offers full training and will pay you to learn the skill that will last a lifetime. Join their winning team, call 264-COOL or apply online at mcgowansac.com.
The Truck Accident Law Firm is a national truck crash law firm based right here in Jacksonville, focused on making First Coast roads safer through zealous advocacy for families of those injured or killed by unsafe trucking. The Truck Accident Law Firm focuses exclusively on tractor trailer, bus, and commercial vehicle crashes. If someone you know is involved in a serious crash with a tractor trailer or commercial vehicle, contact your local truck crash specialists at truckcrashlaw.com. Non-attorney spokesperson.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. XL. Join us in the Sports Den. Call or text 641-1010.
Make sure you get to thehumidor.com. Thehumidor.com is your go-to spot for everything that you need with cigars. Huge selection of cigars, already low prices. Then when you go check out, you're going to type in Sports Den, all lowercase, all one word, and you're going to get 20% off. Start off your football off season with like a whole cart full of cigars.
It's a good way. It's a good way to go.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of downtime.
Lots of it. And what better way? Sit on your porch, smoke a cigar, get something brown to drink, libations from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, while you're watching round-the-clock coverage of the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes.
What coverage is there?
Like his shoulder, the surgery.
Are you suggesting that maybe there's drama?
The pro day. Now they're going to make it. They're going to spice it up.
Yeah.
It's probably a routine. It's probably just a labrum.
I want to get into this tonight because it did cross my mind, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it now because I want to stay on Super Bowl. But there's some crazy numbers being given for quarterback positions. What is the number one overall pick worth to somebody? With some of the things
for a guy like Trevor
Lawrence. Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit later. Last night, Chiefs, Bucks dominate the game. 31-9 is the final score. There was a point in the second quarter where the Bucks had its second goal from the 1 and did not score because they did not put Leonard Fournette in, and they decided to try to throw the ball to a tackle. Where if they just would have ran Fournette twice, this game would have been even worse. Right. I mean, people talk about the bad calls, and there were some questionable calls. The offsides was offsides.
Yeah, you could see the way everybody else was lined up. It was two guys.
May have been two. Yeah, may have been two. The other one's okay. One of them I didn't think was very questionable, but the rest of them okay. But at the end of the day, you also got to look at it and go, man, the Bucks could have put another 7 up pretty easily and probably should have.
Like that pass interference where I believe Mike Evans fell. I believe he did a really good job of acting. But the guy
it was a bang.
The guy did touch him. So, I mean, it was a.
I would have called that too, like in hindsight, because he broke wide open, right?
And then the guy tripped and it touched him. But, I mean, like I said, it wasn't.
Yeah, the right call probably was a no call. But if I was in that guy's shoes, I absolutely would have thrown that flag. But regardless, the big story I think coming out of it is a couple things. Obviously, it's going to be about Brady. The big story to me, James, was the X's and O's side of things and the second level of the Bucs defense. The X's and O's of it, the Bucs knew that the Chiefs were injured at the offensive line. Everybody knew that. The Chiefs should have done a better job protecting what their injury was instead of trying to make Mahomes the Super Bowl MVP. There was a way that they could have slowed this game down from jump, and they probably should have done this at halftime with personnel groupings, with different play calls, perhaps run a power game, perhaps there's a bunch of things that you could have done. The reason why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were so successful, because let me back up, because people are now going to say, is this the blueprint to stopping Mahomes? It's not. You don't have at the second level what Tampa has. When you can rush 4 and you can drop 7, and you can say we're not going to let them beat us deep and still not give up the intermediate passes.
Right.
That's when you're dominant.
You don't have football is a game of momentum. So what we saw is 31-9, the outcome.
Mhm.
Right. What you did not see though is after that first drive with Tampa Bay, you didn't see the Kelsey doesn't ever drop that pass.
Yeah,
That would have got a
that's correct.
first down.
Yep.
You don't see some of the drops. You don't see you still see Mahomes, even though some of it I believe was unnecessary, but you see him making the moves and making the plays that he's been known to make. But normally those guys catch it. You actually saw this. This is something that was what I've always talked about on our show off and on when we talked about Blake Bortles, about the ball coming out of a quarterback's hand.
Mhm.
And yes, a professional is supposed to catch it. But typically the ball, you know where it's coming from and you know how it's going to hit your hands. There's a consistency. That's why throwing and catching in your warm-ups are always important. When I've always been baffled with how many angles that Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball and how he hasn't had more drops.
Mhm.
Well, tonight was it just, him running around, the no look, throwing it underhand, got batted a couple times, but it just kind of, the guys just drop passes that they normally make. He's got sure-handed people. So when you add those things up, then you add penalties, then you add these drops, then that's when you start to, and then you add the
Snowballs.
brilliance of Tom Brady. It snowballs. I'm going to give the Bucs linebacker core major props because somebody that we wanted here inside the sports den was Devin White.
Mhm.
But the not having your starting 2 tackles, and I believe the center was banged up too at some point.
They had enough where they had people playing out of position,
Right.
all that
You
stuff.
can't. That's not the game you want to have. That now it's not taking anything away from what the Bucs did. It's just saying that the Jags might not be able to do that. Like we can think about that, but that might not be what we do. But to have guys that their defensive ends were able to win that battle consistently. But you just said we talked about this during the break. That's when you do change it. You do have a fullback that's really, really good. You do have another tight end that's really, really good. You could have done your entire offense with your 2 tight ends. I'm not suggesting put the fullback in except for special situations. But you've got two tight ends that are pretty good at blocking and that can both catch.
Mhm.
Sammy Watkins ain't giving you that much.
Mm-mm.
You want Miko and you want Tyree. And you want your running back.
And Miko's optional.
Right. Miko's hit or miss. He's young. You can go twins.
Mhm.
Well, we used to call it 2 tights Houston with no fullback. You can go Houston twins. You can still run that jet sweep back into the short side of the field if you want to. Just have a sure blocker over there. When you go twins, you're going to bring both corners over there, probably keep a safety over there, or best, if you condense a corner over the tight end, hell yeah, run the jet sweep. Run it now.
Run power at them. Yeah, I mean,
It's just so many different things you could have done that it's just what baffles me. What's on that Waffle House card that these guys have that froze them up? But bigger than that, I saw for the first time in watching, because I haven't watched every KC's game, but most KC games, they've been pretty confident. But after that third drive, when they went to the sideline, I knew the game was over then. I saw a defeat. I saw them because they could not do what they were used to doing, and they did not adjust or adapt very well. Whereas I saw the veterans, the old folks, they were just like, well, cool, we're doing what we know we can do.
And Tampa did a good job of mixing up coverage too. The reason it's almost like when you hear somebody say, we're not going to get beat deep, you can picture it in your head of corners 13 yards off the receiver, of linebackers getting into their drop right away. And you can already feel, as Florida fans, we can feel this. I didn't watch enough Florida State the last 2 years to know it. But when there's a team that you're playing that you say, okay, they're not going to beat us deep, you know that they're about to just go 80 yards every single time with 5-yard completion. You're going to miss a tackle at some point. They're going to break a big one. Tampa didn't allow that to happen last night because of the speed at linebacker. It was about midway through the second quarter, there was a play, and it was finally, Mahomes tried to get rid of it quickly, right down the seam. Tampa wasn't having. It was dang near picked off, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I watched that play, and I'm like, wow, they are literally making them work for everything. They're covering all 52 of side to side. They're doubling Tyreek. They're bracket coveraging Kelsey. And they still have these dudes roaming free, reading Mahomes' eyes. It was insanely impressive. For whatever reason, to your point, at no point did Andy Reid, who's supposed to be an offensive genius, or Eric Bieniemy, or anybody, at no point, even at halftime, did they go, okay, hold on. All right, we got 2 capable running backs. We've got 2 tight ends. We're going to come out and we're going to pound the ball until they have to sink somebody else in the box. And then maybe we can take a play action shot. We're going to make the rush worry about contain. We're going to widen. We're going to create more gaps on the field that they have to fill where they can't just fill it with these 4. Mm-hmm. They never did that. I don't understand it. I don't understand. How are you in a Super Bowl champion, against a team last year that also had a pretty good defense, and you never once thought, hey, we got to create more gaps here? It's unbelievable. It's almost arrogance. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad for Mahomes because what they did was they said, all right, Patrick will get us out of this. At some point, he's going to get hot. He's going to do something crazy. Mm-hmm. He's going to throw 165 yards, and Tyreek's going to outrun the double coverage, and we're going to split the safeties. And they never gave him the time to do it.
Right. And I think that's where that's just the biggest thing is just the arrogance came in and having too much confidence in your personnel. And I guess if I'm going to go down, that's how I want to go down, I guess. But, like, you have to realize that. I've got 2 tackles that would have been FedEx workers.
Yeah.
Like,
left tackle was awful.
In different circumstances. I've got to get them help.
Well, even if you go in, though, and you think, okay, we can do this. At halftime, wasn't that painfully obvious you can't?
Right. I think the other side of it is this. Because and this is something that, again, people who've never been through this, never been a part of a big postseason game before, really sleep on this fact. The Chiefs did not get there till late Friday night, I believe, early Saturday.
No, Saturday.
I was staying. Well, some personnel got there. The hotel I was staying at was the Hilton downtown, and that's where the Chiefs were at. Dude, I can tell you what. I don't know if they need to hire that security firm for the White House, for that hotel, because you wasn't getting in that thing. I had valet all week, easy to get in valet. They redirected an entire street and then put up these barricades to where you couldn't, like the ones, not like the stone or whatever, concrete. I'm talking about heavy duty, push a button, metal thing comes down.
Like a gate?
Like a gate. Like,
wow.
It was, anyways, but they didn't, even if it was Saturday, even worse, you got to get there and get your bearings. Mm-hmm. Like, Tampa was home. Mm-hmm. Nothing changed. That's, again, more power to them. Every advantage, to my military friends, if the battlefield is fair, you haven't set the battlefield right. So, like, you did what you needed to do to get to Tampa. So, yeah, that was your advantage. But they probably, and I get it with the COVID, they probably should have went ahead and just treated it a little bit more similar, just so that the guys can get in a mindset of, let's get, this is a really big game. Because no matter what you want to say, this is not just another game. Just another game, like, no. Championships are what are championships. You spent your whole life. You've worked your whole life. Now, Tom, especially going up against Tom Brady, yes, you have won as a team collectively, and most of you guys are back. But here's a guy who's got 10 of these opportunities. And he's coming in, and he's got a bunch of other people who are hungry, and he's showing them, and they've got the home. You're coming into their home. You've got to be able to do something to get them uncomfortable, because they damn sure did a great job making you uncomfortable.
Is this going to affect Mahomes' legacy at all? I mean, from this standpoint, well, he's great, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go to many more Super Bowls and win, but one of the big knocks on him is going to be you played Brady twice, one time, in the AFC Championship game, now in the Super Bowl, and you couldn't get past him. And you're supposed to be the next guy, the baby goat, the guy supposed to pass the torch to.
Is Eli Manning better than Tom?
But we weren't putting Eli in the same breath.
What I'm saying is, like, the fact that Eli is the I was gonna say something bad. But, is the lesser of the two Manning brothers. Like, he'll make the Hall of Fame because of the 2 Super Bowls, but if outside of that, there's nothing really Hall of Fame worthy about that. You won't. What I'm saying is that those 2 losses don't diminish anything of Tom Brady, right?
But I think RJ's saying though, and I do think there's something to this. If Mahomes ends up having this career where he goes to 8 or 9 Super Bowls, no, it's not going to affect him in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Okay.
If this starts a trend to where he doesn't get to another one in 6 or 7 years, it could.
Well, we all say Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. He's great. Like, if he doesn't get to 6 or 7, he's not going to be in the GOAT conversation anyway.
Well, I think that's the bigger point. We talked about this last
Like, he's
week.
gotta
The fact
get
that
there.
he's in a GOAT conversation is stupid anyway.
I'm gonna use a Denny Thompsonism. And RJ, I don't think you've ever heard this, but this is going to change your entire thought process on the NFL quarterback.
Oh wow. Okay.
I didn't create this. You created.
Okay, I'm listening.
An NFL quarterback doesn't hit his peak until doesn't enter his prime until year 6.
Yep.
This kid isn't even in year 6 yet. So the fact that he's been doing this at this level so early already speaks onto what his potential for greatness can be. But I think when people we're saying, like, if he loses to Tom Brady, it's gonna affect his legacy. No, it won't. It won't.
Well, I mean, the problem is the legacy part. People are trying to put ahead of where it needs to be. Like, this guy's in year 3 of a starter.
So
like,
we're putting too much on him too soon.
Well, I mean, it's not putting too much on him. It's an unnecessary conversation to have right now. If you want to have it when he's just wrapped up year 9, and you want to look back and say, okay, this is what he's got, then that's fair. But after the 3rd year, a year after he's won a Super Bowl, and remember now, and I mentioned this Friday night, people remember the pass to Tyreek Hill in last year's Super Bowl. They're forgetting the first half. He was terrible. He was awful the first half against the 49ers. Mm-hmm. He wasn't great the 3rd quarter. Really 7 of the 8 quarters that he's played in the Super Bowl, he has been bad as a quarterback. That doesn't make him a bad quarterback. That makes him a young quarterback in a huge moment with, frankly, coaches that have let him down. Mm. And there's a big lesson to be learned by the Jags with this. And I wish, don't take this the wrong way, RJ. I wish JJ was here because this proves a point I have with JJ. You can't drop any random quarterback behind an offensive line and expect success. Mm. You have got to have the offensive line piece of the puzzle taken care of. You know who showed us that? It's Tampa.
Tampa put a better offensive line together.
They put the better front 7 both sides.
Stayed healthy.
Yep.
And
dominated.
Won a game.
Dominated. Best quarterback in the league right now is undoubtedly Patrick Mahomes. He had a makeshift offensive line. And what was the stat? He ran behind the line of scrimmage 460 yards.
Man, that part was what tripped me out.
Yeah, he got out of control.
I'm like, Pat, like, come on, dude. Like, we were on the 15, man. You just ran to the 50. Come on, guy. Like, what if you trip? Like, it's so many things can happen. You already got a bum leg.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot in that game that Patrick Mahomes couldn't control. But there was also some that he could have.
Sean Watson saw that and said, no, I'm doubling down. I'm not coming back here.
Absolutely.
I'm not coming back to Houston.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, here's the way I think this plays out, RJ. 5 years from now, Patrick Mahomes playing in his 4th Super Bowl. Okay. And he gets up against a situation like this. He knows what to do now. He knows. He's going to go back. He's going to watch this film. He's going to go, okay, what I don't want to do is run side to side and backwards and forward with 4 dudes who are pretty fast. What I don't want to do is continue to try to push the ball downfield. What I do want to do is go to the sideline and go, hey, coach, put in 22 personnel. Put in 12 personnel.
The other part that's funny is what you were saying. So, like, obviously they took Tyreek Hill off, and they were trying to double Kelsey. But when I was listening to the interviews this week, and I guess I don't know if everybody can get access to it, but it was one of the cool things about being credentialed is that they put all the interviews. Like, I could get them live, but they also have them for download. Mm-hmm. So I go back, I would listen to it. I was listening to what Kelsey said. I was also listening to what Tyreek said. And basically, they're straight option routes. No matter what they're doing is tagged. And he has a 2-way go. If you realize they're taking away the outside to the sideline, which he started to do later on, you've got to attack the middle. because there's more space there. You're a big body, you know you're going to get hit. But if you do that, it's like boxing. You hit the body enough times, they're going to eventually drop their hands, and then you're going to be able to knock the head off, which is for Tyreek and for others. So, like, there was no synergy. There was no rhyme or reason for the offense. There was nothing that was setting up anything. And to be honest with you, we can excuse away a lot of stuff, but the one thing I want to do is make sure that I give proper credit to, because forget who Tom Brady faced. Todd Bowles faced three of the best quarterbacks to have played in the NFL.
Very true.
And it just goes to something that Uncle Bruce Arians was talking about, how it's a shame that neither him or Byron Leftwich were even interviewed for a head coaching job. Now, Bowles obviously failed, but it's New York Jets. We got to give him a pass for that. Nobody's been successful there as of late. But to come up with those kind of game plans and basically win, it's pretty impressive.
To come up with those game plans and to have your entire defense commit entirely and buy in.
Right.
Because that's what you saw last night. Guys were where they're supposed to be. Guys were in gaps they were supposed to be. The discipline in the run game for a team that was there to stop the pass did not suffer. Now, the Chiefs didn't really attempt it. That's the part that if you look at this game, you have to scratch your head. If you take away Mahomes' runs, you know how many times the Chiefs ran the ball with a running back? 11 times.
Wow.
Does that put a damper on Bieniemy about being this offensive genius and why he wasn't hired by a team?
No, I don't think it puts a damper on that, but it does. You know what it does do? It makes me question the ability of not one or maybe both, him and Andy Reid, with adjustments. Like you've gone a whole 2 years now with what you said was going to work going in. The one chance you had to show, okay, we're a Bill Belichick level, you didn't do it. So I don't know if it makes me question Bieniemy as much as it makes me question Andy Reid, because at the end of the day, it's Andy Reid's call. Like Andy Reid's the one that can walk in the locker room and go, listen, we're putting two tight ends in the game.
Here's the thing, man. Like, and this is what's weird about media and why I've been such a stickler on all of it. Is it like, how is it Bieniemy's fault now when you've been saying the reason why he ain't getting the jobs because he don't call plays? People have been telling you he calls plays, but you've been saying he don't do it. So now it's his fault with the game plan? Nah, that's on Andy. Like that's on Andy now. But even if it was,
but who does call plays?
That's my point. Like they say he calls it. You can have a bad game, things come. Sean McVay is considered an offensive genius, and the last time he played Tom Brady, he had 3 points. So like it happens, man. In the Super Bowl, it happens. And now it doesn't. Now what really compounds everything is the fact that the defense couldn't stop anything. Not just that they were getting out physical, they were getting out mental. They had like 8 penalties on defense. Like every time they got to stop, they got to like Tyrann Mathieu, who I'm a big fan of. I love the rehab of his name and his image and everything. He really had a mental breakdown in this game. They got into his head.
The blown coverage.
The blown coverage
was bad on his part.
The one where AB cooked him?
No, it was Gronk right down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Brady looked him off, and he went flying to the flat.
And there were some things that, yes, you can say, all right, man, ref, come on, man. But you can't. You never leave the game in the hands of the refs anyway. There was a lot of things that defense just was terribly undisciplined. I think Steve Spagnuolo is the DC, and that again, these are some names.
Yeah, that's the reason why I say I go back to Andy Reid, because he can walk in the locker room and control all that. I mean, does it take some of the shine off Eric Bieniemy? I was never a big Eric Bieniemy guy. It's probably not fair to him, but I always have held against Eric Bieniemy the last couple of years the fact that he's got Tyreek Hill, that he's got Patrick Mahomes, and the fact that he's got Kelsey. He can't bring those wherever he goes.
Right.
And that's really what I'm holding against them as a staff right now is you have the best of the best. You couldn't put together a substantial drive the entire night. Like that's you couldn't score a touchdown.
The biggest thing is you can help anybody because all you need is time, a chip.
Yep.
You can't get both of them, but find the one that's getting bullied and abused the most, and then just make sure that guy has all of what he needs.
Yep. To your point earlier, put the other tight end in. You take out one of your weapons, but you still got 3 more out there.
Right.
In time. All right, we've got to take a break. When we come back, I did think it was interesting watching the Super Bowl last night after the whole year we've had, especially in sports. I want to get to just the Super Bowl in general. Not like we can get to the halftime show, but I'm not really a halftime show kind of guy.
Yeah.
But just the feel and what the NFL did last night, I thought was pretty cool. I want to get to that coming up next.
NASCAR is back on 1010XL, and no race is bigger than the Daytona 500.
Yes, sir. Let's get this party started.
Woohoo! This Sunday at Daytona, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
The Nimnick family of dealerships is celebrating 80 years of serving this community, 80 years of relationships, 80 years of top-notch service, and look forward to serving you for 80 more years. Nimnick is the #1 dealership for customer service, sales, and parts. Nimnick Buick GMC stocks and sells more cars than anyone in the region and is the only back-to-back GM Dealer of the Year winner in the region with the best price guarantee. Nimnick Buick GMC. Shop at nimnickbuickgmc.com. GMC. We are professional grade.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Nutrition is often overlooked and underestimated. Your body will only put out what you put into it. For this reason, nutrition is one of the most important aspects of any training program. Whether you're training during the season or in the off-season, or just looking to get healthy, your body needs the right fuel. Consider meeting with your doctor about the right nutrition plan to meet your goals. Go Jazz!
Business has changed, but at Ameris Bank, our commitment to partnership remains steady. Local businesses are the heartbeat of our community, and they'll need new tools to operate successfully. Contactless payments, remote deposit, e-commerce platforms, and more. We're here to make sure you have what you need to operate in today's climate. Let's get back to business together. Learn more at amerisbank.com/back-to-business. Ameris Bank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
I'm Holt Harrell. At Harrell & Harrell, we work hard for our clients, and hard work gets results. If you've been injured, let us work hard for you. Harrell & Harrell, 251-1111. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 8, 1998, Michael Jordan became the oldest NBA All-Star Game MVP at age 34. He recorded 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe, hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
In 1921, U.S. Marine Corps surgeon Dr. Robert McKeever established the first urologic practice in Florida, the McKeever Clinic. I'm Dr. West. 100 years later, we continue to carry on his life's work in providing complete urologic care in Jacksonville. We have 13 board-certified urologists with many areas of expertise to provide the highest level of care for both men and women. Visit McKeeverClinic.com to learn more about how we can help. McKeever Clinic, innovators in urologic care since 1921.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. XL. Join us in the Sports Den. Call or text 641-1010.
Filling in for Rick Ballou and Into the Night is the Sports Den all week long. Tomorrow night, 7 to 9. Help me out with this, RJ.
8 to 10 tomorrow.
Oh, 8 to 10?
Yeah. 7 to 9 Wednesday.
Okay.
6 to 8 will be at Mr. Chubby's on a Vidra.
Do we get wings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going if I ain't eating.
And Friday will also be 6 to 8.
Are you drinking Thursday?
I am not. I have to drive the van, and I have to make sure everything's okay for you guys. Can't drink.
Yeah, one hard root beer.
I mean, maybe one hard root beer.
I mean, we can stay after.
Well, I got to take the van back.
They got Ubers, man.
I have to bring the van in order to set up for you guys.
They'll understand. You have to leave it there for a night.
Jesus. I'm not doing that.
I think they will. By the way, I was just curious, so I looked it up. Blaine Gabbert,
the GOAT,
made $22 million in his career. I would have thought he made one.
Yeah, because he
made 7.6 his first year here.
He was before. Was he slotted?
Must have been.
He was before
2011.
Okay.
He made 7.6 his first year here and has made 21. So what is that? What's 21 minus 14? So he's made 14 million over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
I mean,
nice career though.
Yeah.
It's 10 years in. Not having to take any snaps. Getting Super Bowl rings. Congrats to Byron Leftwich. Congrats to Fournette. Congrats to Mickens. Congrats to all of them. I'm nothing but happy for those guys. Good for y'all. Especially Fournette, man. Fournette did a lot of good things in the city.
A lot.
Go off the field for a second. He did a ton of good things. He gave a ton back to the city. Glad to see him get a ring, and not just get a ring, but
be a major part of that ring.
Yeah. I mean, if they had handed off to him instead of Ronald Jones, he could have had the MVP.
That's what I was saying. I was like, they give him that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
very classy, very classy. In his interview,
Fournette? I didn't hear anything.
Very classy. Basically, they asked. The question was asked: what's it like to have your old team go worst and you're first? And he just talked about it's going to be something I'll tell my kids one day. Just don't give up, persevere. Basically that. It just like he could have somebody tried to get him to say something bad, but he didn't. So that was good. Good job, Leonard.
I mean, at least he's not going to say it on air.
Well, what people say off that that's what they say.
I don't know. Last night, man, everybody was saying plenty on air. Devin White
basically called them all chumps. And
read into Devin White, by the way. It's an interesting guy. A very interesting guy. I like Devin White.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Gronk straight up. I thought Gronk was about to cuss somebody out. Gronk said, "I'm one more question and that's it." They asked it. They're like, "All right, Gronk, you got to interview with Siri." I said, "One more question," and that was it. I'm out.
I got to go to Disney.
Like, wow, Gronk.
How about Matthew though? Just real quick, Matthew and Brady, the exchange. Matthew saying that
I'd love to know what Brady told him.
Well, there was a report out that said Brady did send an apology.
Yeah, he texted him.
It's crazy.
Texted an apology to him after the game. Yeah, I would love to hear what that was. The Super Bowl last night though, I love Super Bowl Sunday. It's like one of my favorite days of the year. But I was even going into that game last night, sports hasn't been the same this year. I don't care what you watched. Everything past the NBA All-Star game from last year, which seems like 5 years ago. The NBA All-Star game was dope in 2020. It was amazing. Everything past that has kind of sucked, if we're being obvious.
I like the NFL this year. This is my most enjoy. I don't know if I like the NFL because I didn't like college as much, because I just don't think college
more about
was as good anymore. Yeah, because the fan, there's so much that was missed out.
Agree.
But the NFL, I think, did a much better job week in and week out.
The NFL definitely did everything the best of all the leagues, pro, amateur, whatever. The NFL definitely did it the best. I thought last night was awesome.
No, you thought it was awesome?
Yeah, I really did. I thought
just to have the game, or just
I thought the fake crowd noise at the end was much.
Okay.
I'm not one that really buys into the whole halftime thing. I'll be honest. I had no idea what the weekend was doing. No clue. Like, there was a whole backstory behind it I read about today.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was supposed to watch a halftime show to read into the art behind it. That's on me. I just saw a bunch of dudes with masks on.
Right.
Like dancing.
I don't really like most halftime shows.
Yeah, so I'm not even
Let's
like,
Prince,
I'm not
Michael
even talking about
Jackson.
that. But yeah, those are icons.
Right.
Well,
I think I watched Beyonce's a little bit because of the dancing and the presentation. But I the weekend's dark. Like, his music is very depressing. Even though he plays some of the more upbeat stuff, but still, I just don't. It's just not my. I don't get in the car. I don't get in the car and say let's bump Beyonce either. But I know she is.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate it. Neither do I Prince. Now, I might bump some Michael Jackson, but I've literally never got in the car and just said, "Hey, drop that weekend on me."
But I thought the game itself, I thought like the pregame, I thought everything leading. I'm a huge Eric Church guy. And so I thought like the way the national anthem was done, I thought everything, it just felt like a Super Bowl. It didn't feel weird.
Okay, I'll give you
feel,
that. It felt like a Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, I see what you're saying.
There was a lot that happened this year that could have been played into the Super Bowl. And I just thought the NFL did a pretty decent job of keeping it about football. Even the broadcast. I mean, you can count on one hand the number. When did they talk about Belichick at all?
No.
Did they talk
which
about the
was
Patriots
weird.
at all?
No, I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, even stuff like that, I was thinking, how are they going to do this? They're going to make this all about Tom. Like, I thought it felt like a Super Bowl, which to me was what I needed last night. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Jeez, he was really getting beat up.
Are you watching this?
Yeah, they're showing this stuff. But yeah, it felt like it. I wish the game would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I like dominance too. So to see that it was pretty firm, that was good. I would have been more of a chess match. But I see what you. But this was also a different Super Bowl for me. Like, just knowing some of the stuff that I know, experience, like, it was just kind of like I really wanted to, check it out. But now I'm like excited about some of the things that are going on. The funny thing is, to kind of take off of the Super Bowl, the NBA is doing a complete 180. Well, they are. So they're basically that All-Star game that you enjoyed last year, they're giving it back to you in Atlanta. Everything wide open.
Which was supposed to be in Indianapolis,
Right,
and then they canceled it.
So, guys, I'm trying to get
the last time that the NBA All-Star game was held in Atlanta was Jordan's final All-Star game, 2003.
Was that the Jordan Dominique? Oh, 2003. Okay.
Yeah, that was Jordan. Yeah, Mariah Carey did the halftime show in like a Jordan onesie, and Jordan came up to the half court talking about, I leave the game in good hands, and then they panned to Kobe and Iverson and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought the All-Star game last year was really competitive.
Oh, that's been the most competitive All-Star game we've had.
Right.
In a
That's
while.
all I was saying. I didn't care about anything else.
Was it the Kobe? You had to win by.
Oh yeah, it was like a certain number.
Like
yeah, it was a certain number that you had to get to.
Yeah, and they
and then every quarter.
But it was like the fourth quarter, the big dogs.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, now it's time to go.
It was awesome. I just think I don't know. I think I kind of expected the NFL to overdo things last night, and I don't think they did. Like I was completely prepared to sit there and hear 4 hours of COVID talk and 4 hours of racial justice talk and happen to watch a football game for a little bit. It felt to me like they did the right balance of everything.
I think this playoffs has been a little bit more of that anyway.
I agree.
So where they've gotten to where it's just about that. But I also think a lot of things have changed. We've got a little bit used to stuff. Plus, I knew the COVID stuff was going out the window. If you've just seen any, like, look, not mine. I was masked up and very good. But look at the pictures of Ybor City. Look at Atlanta. I mean, not Atlanta. Excuse me. Look at Tampa. Ain't a mask in sight. Like, these people are like just they don't even care anymore. So
I
it's cool.
saw this morning. I got onto Twitter a little bit this morning, and there were people whose head was exploding in some of the pictures.
Oh yeah. But I was less worried. Like I said on the show on Friday, I'm less worried about a mask and need to wear a vest. Like people are getting popped left and right in Ybor City. Like I was just like, this is crazy. Randy Moss was nowhere to be seen, obviously, so he doesn't know how dangerous a city Tampa, Florida is.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
But the game was, again, it's just, I think, and well, the other part of it too is just some really welcome sights, like to see Gronk come back after the time off and beat Gronk, like to see Fournette do what he did, to see Bell, Brown, excuse me, Antonio Brown, like it's just so many storylines, so many redemption things. It's what's really great about football, right? And I also felt like this right here shows and proves what I've been talking about for the last 2 to 3 years. Shut up about culture and win. Like, literally, just win. Or have some established winners around each other. And that's what's going to really focus everybody around. Again, Antonio Brown, very humble in his press conference. Didn't talk about it, but didn't shy away from the fact that, he strayed away a little bit, but this came and focused him. It is not just Tom Brady. It's everybody collectively being on a page that says, I want to win by any means. I want to win. And that's really what overlooks people. It shows you that nobody cares of this character stuff that you people think people really care about. Did he turn the talent index? If you run 4.3 and you're 200 something pounds and you're 6 foot, there's very few things that people aren't going to at least give you a chance for, especially if you put it all together and can perform on the field. And that's what proof is. And now, granted, I'm glad they, worked it out, but it just shows that, like, you can, we don't care. We love winners. That's it.
Do you think, how much credit do you give Bruce Arians for the Super Bowl?
Tons.
Like,
somebody has to orchestrate it all.
That's what I'm getting to is you talk about all these different personalities, and we talk about Tom Brady, right? What's Bruce Arians' role in that?
I don't know. People are like, it's different, but it's so on point. There was a local baseball coach that used to be, I think he's out in Miami now. He coached at Eaglesville Academy, Trinity, and then a couple other places. A guy named Gil Morales, a good friend of mine. Gil had cats, and they were all way, way different kids. Most of them went D1. But what he was, it's not even necessarily the greatest baseball coach, as much as he was the greatest at getting them to commit to him and give everything that they had. He managed their personalities. We think about Phil Jackson. We talk about Zen. We talk about all these other crazy things. This man, basically, his triangle offense, he stole from an old man. If you watch the Michael Jordan series.
Yeah.
What he was good at doing was getting Michael Jordan to understand that if you score all, like everybody, that's why I say it's hard to call him the greatest, which he is, but when he had the greatest kind of guy, and he did it twice. He didn't just do it once, did it twice. He was able to get him to understand that if you score all the points, what happens when they shut you down? But when we kind of take the ball out of your hand and allow the ball to move, and now you score, boom. He was able to go and make Shaq and Kobe not kill each other for a little bit. Like the greatest master, like Vince Lombardi, when you think about him, people talk about him. He was able to get people to buy in and commit to him. Bruce Arians not just did it with the players per se, but when you listen to him talk about his coaches fully commit and buy into him, and then it transfers down. I guess when you talk about culture, that's what you should be talking about with culture, not the dang players. It's the guy who's the head man, sets the tone, transmits that down to his generals, who basically putting that down to their lieutenants, their position coaches, who put it down to the grunts, which are the players. It's great communication and expectations and a standard, and they lift them to it.
So do you feel, in a way, because I mean, I'm asking this from a standpoint when Luke Walton coached the Warriors for a bit, and everybody's like, well, you could have put any coach in that standpoint.
Not at all.
You know, it's the Warriors, so anybody could have coached them to 30 straight wins. Do you feel that with this Tampa Bay team, it's almost kind of like you could have plugged, quote unquote, any coach into this, and they could have had the same success?
No, because Tom Brady's not listening to anybody. To just
That's where I was going with this. What is Tom Brady's? There is no background with Bruce Arians, right?
I don't think so.
I'm
The funniest
looking
thing is
through
I read
his-
something that they say Tom wanted to go to San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm looking through Bruce Arians' history. He was the offensive coordinator in Alabama at 97. Then he went to the Colts as a quarterback coach, Browns as the OC, Steelers as the receivers coach, Steelers as the OC, Colts as the OC, then the Cardinals as the head coach, and the Bucs as the head coach. So there was never.
No.
And he's been with the Bucs for 2 years?
Yeah, it was year 2. Came from being a commentator.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that last night during the game. It's like, I mean, Brady had his choice of places to go. Why did he pick Bruce Arians, who was already there? And, I mean, I hate to say it this way.
Was there something with the GM?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Like, I'd love to know what the tie. If somebody knows Texas, what was the tie-in with Tampa Bay and Tom Brady? Otherwise, you've got to give Brady credit for that, of being able to look at somebody that he hasn't worked with previously and going, and we can make this work.
But
I agree with you on Arians, by the way. I wasn't trying to say that he didn't have a piece in this or a part in this.
Yeah, Jason Licht had some experience with New England.
The GM?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think like Arians is in a lot of ways, you brought up Phil Jackson, I'm sorry, not Phil Knight. Phil Jackson. In a lot of ways, he does play that role. Like, I'm going to let my assistant coaches do their job. I'm going to give them all the credit. And there were a couple times this past year where he really got into Brady through the media. If he didn't play well, he didn't do things. Like, he seemed to play that pulling the strings of the puppet role really well. How many more years is he and Brady? Or, like, if they go and they win the next 2.
He said he ain't going nowhere.
Why would you?
They said, are you going to retire? He said, hell no.
Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere.
How many does he have to win with Brady? Will it always be Belichick Brady? Will it ever be Arians Brady?
I think there'll be this will always be the lesser of it.
Right.
But Belichick and Brady, and I think we can't really bash Belichick yet. Not bash, you never bash.
No.
It doesn't matter. But we can't really say it wasn't both of them until we see next year. And the only reason I say that is because, man, if you look at who got affected by the opt-outs more than anybody else, it was New England. He lost almost his whole defense to opt-outs. Like, ain't nobody that good.
Who was the last team to repeat?
New England Patriots.
And that was a long time ago, right?
Was it 02-03?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time ago. I mean, if Brady pulls that one out of his hat.
Now, then that would be Brady's.
He's already.
I think Brady's this go around cemented himself as that guy.
No doubt.
So this isn't, a thing. We can kind of put this to bed that Brady being with the Bucs was going to be kind of the equivalent of Jordan with the Wizards.
No, I would have never gone that far.
I don't think
there were
would've
some
been
people
more-
that were
I
just trying to say this was
Montana with the Chiefs, but like not that. Like Jordan with the Wizards was ugh.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are Brady haters out there.
Yeah.
Like legitimate Brady haters out there. I think anybody that said that was borderline just hating on Brady, because he's been pretty good the last couple of years. He hadn't been what he was, but he's been pretty dang good. We've got to take a break. We got to get to 8 o'clock because I want to get to 8 o'clock, and then we've got to get to Dr. Swanson. I want to ask him about the Trevor Lawrence stuff, as well as the turf toe from last night from Patrick Mahomes. So we still got a lot to get into in this next hour. We're going to take a break. 8 o'clock coming up next.
Built for Jacksonville, by Jacksonville. 1010 XL.
New ball till we die.
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
A
office in Jacksonville.
Former NFL quarterback David Garrard
had surgery on my left knee. Dr. Murphy has done both of them, and so he's really helped me get back to my ability to get out and move around, play with the kids, and still feel like I'm a former NFL quarterback. Started to get a little older, and things stopped working like they should, and Dr. Murphy and Southeast Orthopedic truly come in and save the day.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Dave Binion with Zero-Res. It may be cold outside, but at Zero-Res, we're heating things up. Right now, we have the hottest price of the year. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. That's the price we started out with 16 years ago. Zero-Res, it's the right way to clean.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Rick Ballou here for the Blue Crab Crab House. Folks, it's February. You know what that means? The annual Mardi Gras menu is back. Black and red fish with creamy shrimp sauce, sausage and shrimp gumbo, crab meat remick topped with bacon, other Cajun dishes created by our staff. It's the Blue Crab Crab House. They absolutely love it in the month of February. It is the Mardi Gras menu, right there on Julington Creek Road off of San Jose.
5 years, zero interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course, the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of our Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, we're hosting an exclusive designer event featuring unique jewelry. Drop by Diamonds Direct and see truly exceptional handcrafted heirloom pieces she'll cherish forever. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years zero interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys and mile west. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
You mad, bro?
1010XL 92.5 FM. Join us in the sports den. Call or text 641-1010.
Open up your heart and let that hate out.
Gotta let it breathe. I let it breathe. 8 o'clock brought to you each and every night by our OnlyFans of choice. I forgot the one, so I actually found one.
We had some action on this the other night.
Really, somebody gave some OnlyFans accounts?
No. I mentioned that we need sponsors. We have 4 people hit us up.
Well, we need to go ahead and close that before, so we can stop supporting.
Well, then they asked for the price.
Oh well.
Then a couple of them went away.
Yeah.
It ain't that expensive, guys.
I mean, yeah, man, don't be cheap. That's a 8 o'clock in of itself.
I know. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jeez. All right. Well, my first 8 o'clock. Should I make the first one Super Bowl related?
Sure.
Okay. So, again, being credentialed for the Super Bowl should be like the highlight of a lot of people's, like, especially if you're a sports person, like us. Like, obviously, if you're like ESPN, whatever, it's every day. But like, when you're a regular beat guy, and I don't know the guys, I didn't catch the guy's name, but bigger than that, when you're a coordinator, you have to. Winning the Super Bowl is the top of the food chain. It's one of the things that you want to be.
Mhm.
Byron Leftwich has been there as a player, and now he's there as a coordinator, and he did a really, really good job in coaching.
Mhm.
But this guy kind of took a little of the tarnish off of what he was able to do.
Okay.
Byron Leftwich is there. You know what Todd Bowles looks like?
Mhm.
Bald head guy.
Yeah.
No facial hair. Fairly dark skin. I'd say that.
Yeah.
You think you can confuse him and Byron Leftwich?
No. No, I know where you're going with this, and I'm looking at pictures of them side by side right now.
Is it brothers?
No.
Okay, all right. Because I try to give him the excuses, and there is an excuse.
Todd Bowles is definitely
slimmer too.
Well, he's like Todd Bowles is one of those guys that when you see Todd Bowles, you remember Todd Bowles.
Okay.
Byron Leftwich looks like a normal dude.
Right. So my point in all of this is that Byron's there, and a reporter who comes in and starts asking him questions. Now, actually, no, let me give some more backdrop on how ignorant this was. Not just that he confused. Basically, the gist of it is I'm angry because we don't all look alike. And this is aggravating because I deal with this all the time.
Okay.
I deal with this.
People confuse you for Todd Bowles?
Todd Bowles, yes. I've really worked my ass off to get to this place.
Okay.
The people that I get confused with work their ass off to get to their place.
Okay.
There are distinct tones in our voice, cadences in our voice, size differences, hair differences, age differences, millions of differences between geographical differences, resume differences. Damn it, I don't look like T. Wig. My name is not Anthony Wiggins.
I have seen James and T. Wig in the same room, if you're wondering, yes.
They're
not the same person.
It was a dude that came up to me. I believe was it last year when we were watching a playoff a game or something, and they asked me for my autograph, and I said, "Hey, you're a Seminole fan?" No, I just really liked you when you played for Pittsburgh and with the Jaguars. I do not look like Leon Searcy. And so when I saw this, all of the stuff that comes to my mind and the poise in which Byron handled it with, the joking it, but I could see it in his face. He wanted to curse him out. He wanted to say, I don't look. He wanted to do what your boy did.
Morgan Wallen.
Ben, I don't look anything like Todd Bowles. But I'm going to get into why it was even worse. So he goes in and he's asking him, Coach, what went into the game plan to shut down Patrick Mahomes in the offense? And he's like, what? I ain't do anything. You got the wrong room. Now, let me tell you about SBLV Media Center.NFL.net. That is the link that they gave everybody who was credentialed for this bad boy. They give you the link. You got to type in the passcode. It's got to pass. That's one line. When you go there, it literally has all the times of all the different press conferences. You click on 9 to 11 postgame, 9 to 11 p.m. postgame press. Boom, click that. Pictures pop up. You know what's under those pictures? Names. Podium. I believe it was podium 10. Byron Leftwich, not Todd Bowles, in a big old picture of Byron Leftwich. Get it. Now you click it, boom. Right now it says download. Click it. It said join now. Then boom, click it. He wasn't the first question. You know what happens? What every other reporter does? Hey, Byron, congratulations on the win. Talks about the offense. If everybody else is calling this man Byron and talking about the offense, and you're still confused, maybe you should, because what happens with Zoom, because none of us were there. Everybody had to do Zoom. You can go click the little Safari. Mine says Safari. So I click Safari, go back out, look at the rooms, make sure I'm in the right podium, because you can join multiple rooms. This man doesn't do this. This man doubles down and just the awkward laughter. I didn't catch the name. That's the only problem is I didn't catch the name. But dude, I'm not going to say what other people said about you. I'm not here for that. I just try not to believe that you're that big of an idiot or that you would try to embarrass yourself that much to where you would go somewhere and make these claims. When I covered this red carpet thing, I didn't know who some of these celebrities were. Matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with you. I like boxing. I know who Antonio Tarver is by name.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was Antonio Tarver that I had met until he was introduced to me as Antonio Tarver. I was like, oh, now I know who you are. You're the champ. But you know what I wasn't going to go do? I wasn't going to go call him Roy Jones. I wasn't going to make a fool of myself. I was just going to ask a question or take some damn notes. Or don't take the damn credential.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who want to be in your spot, and you're over here making us look bad. They already think sports journalists are dumb because of sports. And now you come over here and you call a man, in particular an African-American male, another African-American male who he does not look like. The only thing that could have done well, and I'm sure Byron doesn't know who the hell a lot of reporters are anyway, is if he would have done what Gardner did to that one dude with the weird voice here in Jacksonville. Start calling. You know what? No, actually, Byron, you're my hate o'clock now. You should have started calling him random white people names. Sorry, Chuck.
Were you assuming this guy was white?
He's definitely.
Oh, okay, because I can't find anything on the guy.
Definitely white, man. Yeah, but the guy was. It's just because some people try to.
Is Chuck a white guy?
I think Chuck could be anything, but if he's the way you got to say it, Chuck.
Oh, okay.
Chuck. Like that's a black guy name, but that's my 8 o'clock. But now my other one that's definitely African American history related is I believe the dumbest American that's ever been born is an African American woman. Don't know her name. This isn't now before y'all come and try to kill me. This ain't on all African American women. This is specifically unique to this dumbass female.
Okay.
There are products that have similar names. I don't know about hair care products for other ethnicities, but there's olive oil like Sheen that you can put on your hair. Then there's olive oil that you put in on a not a plate. You put it on a plate, put it in
right
the skillet bomb.
You're saying they're two different things.
Two different things.
Okay.
But it's on if you read the labels or you see the can, you see it's two different things. There's hair mayonnaise for your hair and your scalp. Then there's mayonnaise. You don't eat hair mayonnaise. It's not good for you. There is a gorilla type of something that you put on your edges for women who wear wigs. There's that. But then there's the gorilla glue.
Right.
That
I'm very confused about these hair products, but this isn't anything I need to know about.
You don't need to
okay.
know any of these things. Gorilla glue, though.
Some good stuff.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
It really works.
Mm-hmm. You about to tell me somebody put it on their hair?
This young lady wanted her hair to be fly. She had a perfect wig, I guess, or weave. She put the Gorilla Glue to glue down her wig or her weave. And then let it sit.
How do you get that off?
You don't.
No, I'm serious. Like, how does anybody
I'm saying
get that
not
off?
so, but there is a way. So she wanted, and this isn't what. Well, that's part of that. That's enough to be the dumbest human being on the planet. But that's not it. She lets it sit for a while, then comes up with the brilliant idea that I want to go out and I want to try to get this thing off myself. Can't get, so now it's starting to burn. So she goes to the hospital. Hospital says it's going to take some time. We're going to work with you. We have the skill to do this. We're professionals.
It's a nice hospital. I'd have told her we don't have the skill to do this. We were not taught this in medical school.
Right. That's not why I went to school.
Right.
Like, between people getting, this was Jacksonville, between Randy Moss seeing that people are getting shot, mad dads, and COVID, the last thing I need to deal with is some dummy who put Gorilla Glue on their forehead and tried to put a wig down. But they saw her.
Mm-hmm.
They told her it was going to take 20 hours. She says that's too long. Is there a way that I can do this at home so that at least I'm comfortable? They give her some supplies. She goes home. She makes it worse.
How
Long
can you
story
make it
short,
worse?
it's still not off from what I understand. But this has gone viral. And that's not even what makes her the dumbest human being on this planet. What makes her the dumbest human being on this planet is the totality sprinkled in with the fact that she wants to sue Gorilla Glue when it's on the damn label. It's on the label. It tells you that this stuff ain't going nowhere. Like,
yeah, so that's just
like,
that's just stupid.
That's
the reason
now
why
she's going to be bald.
Never mind. I'm not even going to say it.
I just don't understand when you were thinking, like,
I was
when you
about to get
picked up
political, but I'm not
Gorilla
going to.
Glue, there are descriptors in life. I know what a gorilla looks like. Gorillas have a hell of a grip.
Mm-hmm.
If a gorilla grips me, that's God's will. It's over. It's over.
You're going to play dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to try.
Right.
Yeah, but the odds are high that I'm not going to be playing dead for long.
Right. You're not going to be acting.
Yeah. So if somebody calls it Gorilla Glue, I'm assuming that grip is pretty damn good.
Right.
I'm going to believe that product.
I'm not going to put it in my hair.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it in my hair. I'm not going to put it anywhere near
my
me.
body. Nowhere
To
on
be
my
honest
body.
with you, I don't even want to own Gorilla Glue. I'm afraid of what's the other glue that used to be like
the Elmer's?
Not Elmer's, but basically something that's like. But anyways, the real sticky glue. I got afraid that some of it got on my finger, and I was gonna have to lose the finger.
It's going to take away your fingerprint.
Yeah, I don't want none of that, man. But this young lady, Black History Fact,
But
the dumbest person.
she's not really
ever.
suing, is she?
No, that's what she's looking into those things because they say don't put it on your hair. Excuse me. They say don't put it on your skin or your nails. They don't say hair.
This is some attorney that found her. You know that,
And
right?
I hope that attorney
Gets disbarred.
burns in hell.
Yeah, I'm
gets
with you.
disbarred. But yeah, those are my two hate o'clocks. The guy not giving Byron Leftwich his props, and then the dumb young lady who decided that she wants to put Gorilla Glue in her head.
I do want to get it. We got to get Dr. Swanson on, but there's an interesting thing on Pro Football Talk right now about will the NFL delay the coaching carousel till the day after the Super Bowl? I want to get into that after Dr. Swanson because we just brought up 3 coaches that if there were 7 job openings today, they would be much more likely to get interviews because their season's over.
Right.
Than what they were 4 or 5 weeks ago. We got to get to Dr. Swanson, though. We're going to talk some Trevor Lawrence and how much is that injury going to affect him here in Jacksonville, or is it going to affect him at all? That's Dr. Swanson coming up next.
If you like the heat, we are always bringing it. 1010 XL.
In 1921, U.S. Marine Corps surgeon Dr. Robert McKeever established the first urologic practice in Florida, the McKeever Clinic. I'm Dr. West. 100 years later, we continue to carry on his life's work in providing complete urologic care in Jacksonville. We have 13 board-certified urologists with many areas of expertise to provide the highest level of care for both men and women. Visit McKeeverClinic.com to learn more about how we can help. McKeever Clinic, innovators in urologic care since 1921.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Nathan. My job gave me a lot. It gave me an income to support my family. It gave me purpose and pride. But the secondhand smoke there triggered my severe asthma attacks, infections, and lung damage. And I never smoked. It was so bad that my doctor told me I shouldn't work there anymore. I had to quit my job. But the damage was done. Now I'm so sick, I can't do much of anything I used to love to do. I don't referee youth basketball anymore. I don't run or lift weights. It's too much for my body to take. Instead, I'm taking breathing treatments or oxygen. I guess you could say my job gave me a lot. So let me give you a tip. Don't let people tell you that working around secondhand smoke is safe.
Call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW or visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to quit your way. Developed by CDC.
Looking to be your own boss in a proven business model like construction and working outdoors? Superior Fence and Rail is franchising in new markets all over the Southeast, from Birmingham to Savannah, and even a few more markets in Florida. Come win with us and redefine the fence industry. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail to learn more about starting a fence franchise today.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Golf has never been more popular, and if you'd like to learn this safe and fun game or just get the rust off, call the PGA staff at Hidden Hills Golf Club, and we'll help you get in the swing of things. 620-0910.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 8, 1998, Michael Jordan became the oldest NBA All-Star Game MVP at age 34. He recorded 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. We want to win your business with honest and upfront transmission service. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. That's a promise from me. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
If one of your resolutions was to spend more time together, get a Valentine's Day gift you both can enjoy all year round. A set of custom cornhole boards from Mystic Cornhole Company. You'll both love it at mysticcornholecompany.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist presents Dr. Chris Swanson on the Sports Den. A board-certified orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine, Dr. Swanson has been assistant team physician for the Cincinnati Bengals and Drexel University men's basketball and is the current team physician for several area high schools. Visit se-ortho.com.
Every Monday night, Dr. Chris Swanson joins us a little earlier this week since we're filling in for Rick Ballou. Dr. Swanson with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Doc, we actually have medical talk to get into tonight.
I know. Pressing news in Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this was actually in Jacksonville, but I mean, the biggest story right now is, of course, the lady that put Gorilla Glue in her hair. I don't think she was in Jacksonville, though.
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh, well, you're supposed to be prepared when you come on the show, Doc.
You guys got to give me a little heads up on the glue story.
I mean, if you were a doctor at an ER and a lady walked in with Gorilla Glue in her hair, what would your treatment plan be?
Scissors.
No, it's on her head. It's like she can't get it off her head.
Hmm.
Did they address this in medical school?
So, yeah, it still starts with scissors, man. You got to get down to the root of the problem there.
So it could be painful.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun.
No, the real story is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence announced last week that he's going to be throwing sometime this week. I think it's Friday. And then he's going to have surgery on his non-throwing shoulder for a labrum. Friday night, I got on here and said that this is not a big deal in any way, shape, or form, but I'm not a doctor, Doc, and you can call me out if I'm wrong on this. Is this in any way a big deal that Jag fans should be worried about?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, not a big deal. So labrum surgery is a really common surgery. And, you know, if it was on his throwing shoulder, it'd be certainly a bigger deal. We actually had a little nice story on First Coast News today about this. And it just talks about the fact that, you know, this is something that you can reproducibly recover from. he should be back lifting weights in the gym probably no more than 3 or so months from the time of his surgery. And the fact that it's on his non-throwing shoulder means this should really have no impact on his NFL career moving forward.
So I've done quite a few return to throw programs for guys with labrum issues. I've also had quarterbacks who have had the non-throwing shoulder labrum. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, Doc, and you can tell me if I'm doing something wrong. I don't remember a single thing that we have done on the guys whose left shoulder had a torn labrum. Should I have been doing something? And then the second part of that is the torn labrum on the throwing arm can be hit or miss with different people, right? It can be the exact same surgery, but people recover completely differently.
Right. So first part of the question, so on the non-throwing shoulder, I wouldn't expect that you'd have to do anything different other than once they had healed and they were back doing activities, you just get them back into their normal routine. I wouldn't think you'd need to make any modifications for somebody, 3 or 4 months after surgery on their non-throwing shoulder. So, you got that one right.
That's good news.
Whether you knew it or not, you got that one right. And then the throwing shoulder, though, is a different beast because the surgery is really reproducible. Again, you can be back lifting weights in basically exactly 3 months. You can be back in the gym. You can be doing push-ups. You can be doing bench press in about that same time. And that happens all the time. But any kind of overhead throwing motion is the hardest thing that we do on our shoulder. So whether you're a baseball pitcher, whether you're a quarterback, it takes longer to get that added flexibility and control the muscles around the shoulder back to be able to throw or spin it the way that you used to be able to do prior to that injury. And that's different for everybody. I think, 2 of the best examples are one, Drew Brees. So Drew Brees, devastating labral tear, basically the entire way around. So as big of a tear as you can get. People thought his career could potentially be over. That was when he was with the Chargers. And so, he's obviously gone on to a Hall of Fame career and had even better numbers with the Saints. So he recovered and did great with it. The opposite is Andrew Luck, who had a labral tear on his throwing shoulder, reportedly not a very big labral tear, but his shoulder was never right after he had surgery on it.
In fact, he wasn't even throwing footballs for close to, I want to say 14 or 15 months after the injury.
Yeah, I think it was over a year. And as opposed to Breeze, where they said they had to use a number of anchors in order to repair it. Lux was a small number, supposedly like 1 or 2 anchors, but he just never, for whatever reason through the healing process, he never looked like throwing the ball. He never looked like the way he did when he first came into the league.
Well, I'm not going to bore our listeners with all the different, because it's irrelevant, all the different things that we've seen from guys who tore the labrum in their throwing shoulder. But it is fascinating how different guys recover from that. But my question really is, why now with Trevor? Does that mean it is a very small tear that it's taken this long for him to even realize that, hey, I need surgery for this?
Yeah, generally the labrum, so there was never a report that he dislocated his shoulder. So if he didn't dislocate his shoulder, then he was probably just having pain in his shoulder that wasn't going away. And it was probably stopping him or bothering him it probably wasn't bothering him all during throwing, but it probably was bothering him lifting weights, working out. And then he eventually got it checked out now that the season was over. And then from a timing standpoint, now's the time to do it. Because again, if you do it in mid-February, you really should be back in the gym by mid-May. And, by the time training camp rolls around in July, should be kind of easily 100%, in my opinion. I don't know why he's not doing the surgery already. What's he accomplishing by throwing at pro day?
Well, I have a whole list of reasons why that is, but that's a whole different conversation.
So it's probably the best to have that anyway. Like, show something, and then basically it's going to force him to rest for at least, 6 weeks in the sling.
Yeah, so it's usually 1 month in a sling, 1 month in the sling following surgery. So 1 month he's really going to have to take it easy, and then after that he should be able to start doing some lower body stuff, some cardio type of things. But he won't be doing any heavy upper body workouts for a couple of months.
You can't even really sprint full speed in the beginning of it.
No, I can't sprint. Definitely not. You can do stationary bike, maybe an elliptical, things like that, but you can't definitely can't run full speed right away.
His fiance is gonna hate him because that thing, man, you can't get up under there.
Huh.
You can't get up under there to wash real good. You can't.
Mm.
It hurts to lift it, man. It's gonna be. It was some funk.
You make a really good point, though, James. I hadn't thought about till you just said that. In a year where there's probably not going to be OTAs again,
Mhm.
in a year where you're probably not going to report to the facility to lift again, rest may be the best thing for all these guys. Instead of going through a 2-month process that involved combine and pro day training and then your pro day and all that kind of stuff, and then shutting it down, like resting now and building up to July probably is a better plan anyway.
Remember the combo I told you I had when I went to the combine last year with one of my mentors over Michael Johnson Performance, and we were just discussing like how do you train these guys for the combine? Like they literally just got there, done with playing long seasons, done with playing the Senior Bowl, East West Shrine Bowl. You've got them maybe if you get them for 5 weeks, that's a blessing. But they're coming in banged up and they're hurt, so you really can't train them. The only thing you can do is really as much as football specific movements as possible, because trying to teach them how to run, trying to teach them how to jump, do some different things makes no sense. But now if there's no combine, it's just the draft or your pro day, you can take a month off and then go do 2 months of a grind and then be in really good shape and in good position to be able to put up some really good numbers.
Well, that's the interesting thing, Doc, from the perspective of injuries. Now that the football season's over, there was a couple of injuries. There was a couple of weeks where we came on here and we were like, the ankles and stuff like that, kind of gruesome type injuries, but that wasn't COVID related. That wasn't a lack of workout related. We didn't really see an uptick in the injuries that we had on our head on a swivel for, did we?
No, I think, early in the season, we had that run where there was all those big name guys with bad ankle injuries, a couple guys with ACLs. And then as the season wore on, it kind of tapered. It seemed like kind of back to normal, right? Where, once in a while there was a pretty bad injury or a big guy who got hurt, but it didn't seem like anything extreme. So I would, just from a casual observer perspective, I would say, I don't know that COVID had a huge impact on the injuries that we really saw during the football season.
So that
overall,
that begs the question then. I'm sure there's already people looking at numbers because everything that these guys do during the season is monitored. Like at the end of practice, they can tell you how much time they spent going X amount of miles per hour. Like, everything is monitored. So is the conversation inside of, training facilities and health organizations and places like that, is it now going to which is the better way? Is it better to give these guys to have the rest, or is it better to do a traditional off season? Is that the next conversation that's going to be had?
I would think, because like you said, I'm sure they're going to take all the data that they got from this year and compare it to years past, and then 2021 is probably going to be somewhat similar to 2020 from an off-season program standpoint. So at the end of next year, they may have 2 years of data to look back and say, okay, here's what we think. Maybe we can modify things to some extent. A lot of these things are still going to be driven by, they're going to want to get back to the regular combine just because it goes on TV. People still watch it, and they're going to want to get back to full slates of preseason games because
they sell tickets.
It forces people to buy tickets, right? If you buy season tickets, you got to buy those preseason games too. So some of that stuff I think is going to trend back to normal, but maybe they've already made changes to the off-season programs, and maybe they'll continue to modify it to some extent.
Well, I think 2021 is actually going to be an amazing indicator because last year none of this stuff came up until people were good and into their training in late March. This year, I think people are operating under the assumption there's not going to be OTAs and things like that. And so we're seeing, even inside of our facility, a little different approach that the more I think about it, I think is probably more beneficial to the athlete, Doc.
What are you guys seeing?
We're seeing later start, so more rest. And even now, it's not hardcore work as much as it is stretching, a lot of the stretch lab type stuff, James. A lot of like the hip flexibility stuff, hip flexor stuff. Not really much weights. It's more maintaining right now.
Yeah, and I think, there's no question that giving your body a chance to recover is important through that process at the end of the season. And in your typical sort of end of the college year, going into the combine and everything, I mean, that's just.
Well, I'm talking about
like
veterans.
no
I'm not talking
timeline.
about those guys. Those guys are still
Oh,
grinding, but I'm talking about more, 4 or 5 year veterans.
Once you get to a certain point, you're really not creating any new strength. Like those gains. I mean, that gains is for gym bros.
Mm-hmm.
Like people ask me like what I'm sure if you put 400 on the bar, I could probably still get it. But I'm not interested in doing that anymore. I've done that. I've squatted a house before. I've been able to hang clean 430. That's not fun. It hurts actually. Like once you you have to catch those things. But functional movement, again, basically the old man strength, which is what you're talking about with the stretch lab and things like that. Range of motion, those are the things that help you recover a lot more now. Because at a certain point, you're just happy to get out of bed. And you just want to be able to move.
Like the TB12 program, I mean, that seems to be working.
It does, man.
A lot of plyometrics, a lot of band work, a lot of flexibility.
Avocado ice cream.
The diet is what trips me out. Like the workout isn't bad. Like it's not I get it, but like some of the other stuff, like come on, man.
I can't have a strawberry.
Like you're wilding, man. But plyos again, functional stuff like. Oh, actually, you know what? Since we're talking about that, real quick, let's say hypothetically, you are a former player that just walked away, and the last time anybody saw you physically, you kind of looked like a crackhead. Like how quick would it take you to get your body back recovered? Like
to put weight on.
Yeah. Long story short, Telvin Smith has really been talking crazy again, and I'm just curious: is that possible for Telvin to go from a buck 25 back to 215 pounds, like to play
a functional muscle?
A functional muscle, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get on that Bryson DeChambeau diet. Got to get 7 protein shakes per day. Get back in the gym, and you can certainly put muscle back on, especially elite. Anyone who was once an elite athlete, has that capability to transform their body.
Yeah, he's still young too.
Yeah,
he's still young. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's mid-20s still.
Yeah,
yeah. Because he was on national championship team.
Those guys can do it overnight in their 20s,
Yeah. Well, Doc, we appreciate it, man. You got to be happy today with Tom Brady winning.
Yeah, I was happy. I think I predicted correctly last week. You guys were all over the Chiefs, and
I picked the Bucks.
Did he pick the Bucks? Me and JJ were with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I think I talked Denny into the Bucks.
Okay, if you want to believe that, I'll let you believe that. No, man, it was good. It was a good game. It
wasn't a very good game, though.
No, I thought it was. I thought it was fun to watch, man. I thought it was one team with an amazing plan that executed highly. By the way, Telvin Smith is 29.
What I thought was interesting about the game was how did Kansas City make no adjustments?
That's what we were talking about earlier in the show.
How did they not have a running back in there or a tight end to block? I mean, they just let him drop back and made no adjustments.
It was pathetic. It was poorly coached. As poorly coached of a Super Bowl team as there's been in a long, long time. Yeah. But make sure if you've got a shoulder or knee injury, make sure you go and see Dr. Chris Swanson at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. You can go to se-ortho.com to get all their information. Locations all over town. The best of the best around. That's Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. If you have a knee or shoulder, specifically ask for Dr. Chris Swanson. It's who I go to. It's who a lot of our quarterbacks go to at 6 Points. You should go there as well. Doc, we appreciate it as always, my man.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Dr. Chris Swanson, we are a little bit behind here, so we've got to take a break. We'll come back, and we will wrap up this edition of the Sports Den.
It's true. You can own an autographed Hank Aaron baseball. It's one of the many amazing items up for bid on the Walk-Off Charities silent auction this week at walkoffcharities.com.
5 years, zero interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course, the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of our Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, we're hosting an exclusive designer event featuring unique jewelry. Drop by Diamonds Direct and see truly exceptional handcrafted heirloom pieces she'll cherish forever. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years zero interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
Hey, it's Greg, and so you probably heard me tell you about the Get Upside mobile app and how I save up to 25 cents a gallon buying gas. And now with promo code 1010XL, you can sign up today and save an extra 20 cents a gallon on your first fill-up. Now, I love it because I work in sales and I'm driving all over town, so I have to buy fuel often. But now I'm getting questions like, does Get Upside really give you cash? Or I'm sure it's complicated, or there's a catch. And that's the thing. There's not a catch. It's so easy. It's like a part-time gig that pays you for doing nothing but putting gas in your car, which you're already doing anyway. Here's what you do. Buy gas like you normally would, take a picture of the receipt, and earn cash back. Me, I actually just have them send it right to my PayPal account. Try it today. Download the free Get Upside mobile app on Apple or Android. Use promo code 1010XL for an extra 20 cents per gallon on your first tank. Get Upside and get paid back every time you fill up your tank.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Dave Binion with Zero Res. It may be cold outside, but at Zero Res, we're heating things up. Right now, we have the hottest price of the year. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. That's the price we started out with 16 years ago. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
These girls just want to have fun.
This is about an adventure.
And they love talking sports.
This is completely against the rules.
Helmets and heels. I'm so excited to be here.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
Tuesday nights at 6 on 1010XL.
If you're a skilled plumber and you're looking for a career that provides competitive pay and great benefits at no cost to you, Local 234 Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, and HVAC Technicians is looking for you now. Just being a part of Local 234 means that you're joining an organization with thousands of members that have the same goal as you, to get the job done right. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today. Local 234, make the right connection.
If you haven't shopped at Key Buick GMC, now is the time. With every new Buick and GMC comes a lifetime powertrain warranty. Find a great selection of GMC Sierras, the truck that I drive. Need a new SUV? Check out the roomy GMC Acadia or the Buick Enclave for a more luxurious ride. Looking for a crossover? Look no further than the Buick Encore or Buick Envision. Key Buick GMC, located across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate. Go to keybuickgmc.com.
Rediscover the comfort of being home. Prosser here. Lifetime Enclosures can help with sunrooms, screen enclosures, lanai conversions, outdoor kitchens, you name it. They got it. My parents invested in their comfort with Lifetime Enclosures. They love their new and improved outdoor space. By coming into their showroom, you can enjoy up to an additional $450 in savings at Lifetime Enclosures. Their staff observes all CDC guidelines and social distancing. And don't forget to stop by Lifetime Flooring next door. Tell them Jeff sent you. License CRC 028471.
Woody's Barbecue salutes all grandmas this week. So if you have a special Nana, head for your neighborhood Woody's for some banana pudding. See you there.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
I tell you the difference between me and them. They trying to get their ones and trying to get them hams. 1 million, 2 million.
1010XL. Join us in the Sports Den. Call or text 641-1010.
It's going to be weird going home and not having to go straight to bed, man.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it. We're going to be off at, what, 7:53?
Yeah, around about there.
I can get with that. I came across this thing, James, of odds to win a national championship, of course, for college football next year. Of course, Alabama's the favorite. But Florida was a lot higher than I thought they would be or should be. It was Alabama, then Clemson, then Ohio State, then Oklahoma. So the four you expect. Then it was Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was Texas A&M. And then it was Florida. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7? Like, surely they left people out of this. But Notre Dame's behind them. Iowa State is behind Notre Dame. Isn't that your boy's brother? Brock Purdy? Iowa State?
Yeah.
Texas, plus 2,800. LSU is plus 3,000. USC's plus 3,000. North Carolina's plus 3,500. There's no way Florida would be a bad bet. I don't care what the odds are. Florida's got a lot to overcome. And I'm not just talking about like the loss of Kyle Trask, Kadarius Toney, Grimes, and Pitts. There's a lot of turnover on that staff.
Yeah. Brian Johnson being one of the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and the quarterback position is going to be big, even though you got a guy who's giving you a different element with the ability to be able to run. But even though they're getting better, but running quarterbacks are typically not as accurate, right?
Right.
Because they're taking those hits.
Right.
So, like, now you just got to, like, it's different when them linebackers are scraping, they're flowing. And even Jesus' nephew, when that boy from Kentucky caught him,
mm-hmm.
life changed for him.
It's really the ground that caught him.
But the guy caught him solid, and then
Yeah.
the ground is what sent him to the upper room. But it was still bad.
It's so funny on the text line. Everybody's giving us treatment as if we were the one that put the Gorilla Glue in our hair.
Yeah, I don't put nothing but natural products.
Nail polish, somebody said.
Dude.
WD-40.
It doesn't. Like, Gorilla Glue came on and released a statement. They're like, we put it on the bottle that it's permanent. Like, it's pretty clear. Like, we wish you the best, but there's nothing for us to do.
Yeah, the Gators, sorry, I just saw that text come across. Of all the coaching staff changes, I think what Gator fans are – no, I don't think Gator fans are missing this at all. In fact, I know Gator fans are. Maybe what the national media is missing is who's still there. Ty Grantham's still there. I mean, that was the one that everybody thought, well, okay, we got to get rid of him because we've got the Cats. Yes, they do have the Cats on defense next year. But Grantham's still there.
Right.
I mean, I don't know whose fault it was, but because I was the guy that was like, okay, you can't just fire Grantham. This was like week 5 or 6. Dude's a good recruiter. He's got great relationships, all that kind of stuff. But then after I watched the bowl game and they're still not lining up properly to man coverage, like, that's on the coaching, right? Mm-hmm. If that coach is still there, that could be an issue.
I thought the DB coach is gone.
Yeah, but Grantham's still there.
These are safeties, right?
No, I'm just saying, Grantham, if you allowed that to still be happening.
I see what you're doing. So you're saying the illustrious.
Yes, go ahead.
You're either coaching it.
Yes.
Or you're allowing it.
Right.
Boom.
Exactly.
That's what happens with gangbanging.
Tomorrow night we'll be here. What time?
8 o'clock.
It's our normal time.
Yeah, but we're not on Tuesdays.
We're not normally on Tuesdays.
Can we come and hang out with the girls from Helmets of Hills?
Is that frowned
why
upon?
not?
Oh, okay. James is going to come hang out with them. I'll be here right at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. 8 to 10 on the Sports Den tomorrow night. Share the SoundCloud. Tell all your friends. We'll talk to you guys then. Y'all have a great evening.
Gang, bang.